start that. Yeah. Now that that's going, I want to link to it. To I don't want to do that. Let's see. That is what I want. Except you added extra shit to that link that I do not want. That is not what I want. Why is the preview for the wrong fucking game? Oh, stupid YouTube. Shut up. I don't want that. You are obtuse. That is what I want to change. You. Yes, thank you. And you will get to go in there. Fix all of this shit that you try and force on these. Save all that. No. Not those. I did not need all of those things preserved from the last one. But I guess it's better than you throwing it all away in case I did want it. Those are correct. Okay. Now, where was that? This. That is not what I wanted you to do. But sure. No, you are still fucking that up. Spiteful motherfucking thing. Alright. Open this in a new browser because YouTube fucking hates Firefox and keeps actively sabotaging things in it. So maybe if I open up Chrome and fuss with things in there, it'll actually do what I want it to. Hateful fucking thing that it is. do that from there, will you actually do what I want? Well, we'll find out. Stop that. Stop that. Hurt fucking thing. And since, even though I fixed the thumbnail, you are still showing the incorrect one. Fuck you, stop that. Okay. Well, you showed the correct thumbnail in that option. So that's better than nothing. But you're still shit. Okay. And since I knew this was going to probably be a pain in the ass, I am going to actually record while I'm streaming once I actually get started. And I'm sure that everything is working properly. But again, YouTube's an asshole and decides to actively sabotage playback and other things in Firefox to try and force us to use Chrome. So I can't be sure. Because I'm not going to reward them by giving them what they want. But I think I'm ready, so we'll get rid of that. Now, since it's streaming, I have it obviously not full window so that I can actually see the chat if there is any while I'm playing. Now, I really, really miss the quick and nuanced and efficient chronomancy, because right now, this will change, but right now, it is taking me longer to do the chronomancy to get reasonable hit points. Not just good ones, reasonable ones, than it is to actually go out and make those levels. Another thing about the hit points, I did look up more about it, because I just hadn't before, and what it seems like the game is trying to do, or tries to do, but random can still fuck you over, is trend towards the mean, in that it looks at what level you are, what class you are, how many hit points you have, and how likely you are to get options beyond 1 hit point. Depends on whether or not you are above or below where it expects you to be, which is why when you change class, of course it's only going to give you options for 1 until you catch up to the level you were when you swapped, depending on things like the clerics. 2 of them are going to change class to something that gets fewer hit points per level. Wizard is going to be a downgrade from cleric, so it'll probably take them longer to start getting options for additional hit points again. Squishy is going to go from worst possible option for hit points to an upgrade, so it'll take a little less time. The one that goes to Lord, Lords will make more hit points, so they'll catch up sooner. The Samurai are never changing class, so there is less room for compromise with them, because they don't get a second chance. But it took multiple hours, and there were compromises. But there's another spell to be learned there. Well, yeah. There are more spells they could have, but don't. It took her a little bit. No, she actually got there before a bunch of the others, and she is... Oh, yeah. She's now caught up and... will... Because mages take longer than clerics to level, she's closed the gap, and will now start dragging her heels a little bit compared to them. She did good, got all her spells, so there's that. But yeah, but she did good. I think, yep, except for her. They got all their spells, but it's close-ish. She is still ahead stat point-wise, and 1 hit point. But they all have the extra healing, which, oops. Yeah, knowing that that's what the game is trying to do gives a little bit of room for compromise, because there's potential for it to work out later, but of course the game wanting to regress to the mean, probability only actually works out over way larger span than the number of levels these characters will add up to. And I do need them to not be profoundly squishy, any squishier than I can avoid. So I am still going to try to get them, again, reasonable hit points. They can get double, with the exception of squishy. They can get double the number I am willing to settle for. and it still takes me hours. Hopefully that will change. We'll find out. But I am also missing the convenient, more nuanced iteration chronomancy enough that once I slog my way through this motherfucker, I may just play the NES one without the prettier graphics and the quality of life increases, just because the leveling will piss me off less. That's how much I miss the chronomancy, even if I didn't use it in the other places where I can. Like the shitty healing rolls. Even if I limited it to just the leveling, it would make things so much quicker and easier. And that's with the levels where I can lose stats. And, yeah. Having my stats reset when I change class. Quick and efficient chronomancy matters. But we're gonna try. Now, I know I say it in the playlist description, and I'm fairly certain I've said it elsewhere before, but I don't know if I've actually said that. While I have played this game before, I've never actually beaten it. There's a lot of aspects of this game I'm not super familiar with. Partially because you spend so much time in that grind with Murphy before you ever leave the first floor that sometimes I'd get bogged down in that or get distracted by something else and not come back around to it. But anyway, now that they've all made their level, they not quite 16,000 for them, and then 10 and change for you, and 7 and change for them. It will continue to take them longer and longer comparatively, but yeah. Oh, right, I did also want to look at what those spells do, because that's not what I wanted. You. We had those, got those. These are the 3 for level 4. Right. I had checked the ones we'd gotten with the test levels. And again, I have no reason to believe this would work on Murphy for multiple levels, but the mind affecting on undead is part of it. And then we already know he's resistant, if not immune, to those things, so I'm not going to waste the magic with anything other than we know that one actually works. Now, we're going to get more and more efficient to the point where stopping and bothering to cast is going to be less and less worth it. But also after the first 5 fights, we're out of this one, because I am not interrupting the samurai trying to swing to have them cast it. They could, but no. But we now have, yeah, those remove poison and, right, the one that isn't worth doing because it, as convenient as it would be, it takes up a spell slot that should be devoted to healing. We did actually already see all of these. Okay. off we go then. Oh, there was one other thing. I think you can cast. No, you can't. Yeah, she's missing a bunch of spells. She did real bad there, but it was the only time I saw her get even half. Get more than half as many hit points as I was willing to accept. No, that is the one. I wanted to actually show this, because I had cast it out of curiosity to see how it would look. This is all of the dungeon we have seen, and while the mini-map doesn't represent it well, because it gets confused when we loop around the edge of the map to the other side. But since I have a mouse cursor, we could show. We go up that one, we go around, and we teleport to here. We make that step forward. There. Here. Anyway, we turn and we go to Murphy, and then we follow our path to here, and then down until we bonk, and then back out. This actually is showing us what is actually happening versus the confusion the mini-map has when we loop and then teleport. So now you actually have a proper visualization of what's going on there. Doors that we have not gone in but have seen are on there. It shows us the things we have seen, which is, you know, nice, helpful. I do have maps already. But I know this route without them. Yep. We teleport and then we turn and yeah. Toggle that. Thank you for remembering where I was with that. Does save me a little bit of time. Despite my better judgment, I have also been entertaining a thought about additional classes for the sake of it being more helpful in the long run. Even though it would mean more grinding. Because for the ones that are going to be wizards, level slower, and I don't know for sure about their spell progression. But if they get the mage spells at a slower rate on top of leveling slower, I might be better served to just get them through mage after. Because I already know that they're not going to get more than one hit point per level. All I have to think about, and they'll get more than enough stat points. All I have to worry about is, did you get sufficient spells? And just get them through those so that they have all the spells, and then it's just a matter of getting the additional spell slots. Without having to learn them as they go. Don't think one additional class will age them so much that it would be a problem. But that also means I would be tempted to get some additional stuff onto the others. The samurai would be a problem, because if I don't have competent fighting classes, I will not hit hard enough often enough to do this. Not effectively. Oh, yeah, it's time for the next one. To do that. You've got the one left. So, once I have a lord, I could give them something else to learn, but then I would just be swapping them back to samurai, because that's what I want them to be. It just... I need to have the competent fighters to be able to do this in the first place, so not having them wasn't an option. Now, what would I give all the people that aren't clerics, I wonder? Having everyone have healing magic is good. Also, clerics are not as bad at the fighting as other non-combat focused folks would be, so and you are out. I don't really think I need to be doing that. It's fine. Now, if I swap them, and then swap them back to it, they're gonna start back at level 1 in Samurai. I don't think it preserves the where they left off as if they were a D&D character doing it that way. But that's fine, probably. Yeah, that didn't happen meaningfully slower. So, spending the time, we do have the extra healing now, so. Don't think, well, it's not that the -4 to where AC doesn't matter. Just don't know how much of a difference it's making. The fights being shorter is making a bigger difference. Fewer opportunities. job, girls. An upside to the interface is I can do the hit the quick select left control and enter one-handed, so I can, you know, just drink my coffee, eat something while I sit here and grind. I am nice enough to mute my mic for that because I don't want to hear those noises from other people. Ugh. I'm one of those people where ASMR disgusts me. Other people's mouth noises, eating and drinking included, are just no. Hard no. So I try very hard not to inflict those on others. You're welcome. I try to be good about things like, if it's something that bothers me, I can't be the only one, so, you know, try to be considerate of others the way I would want them to be considerate of me, you know. Wheaton's Law, don't be a dick. Yep. I could heal C3. And dry. That's you're 16 down as well. And amen. Since that's as much as the big spell does, I wait until they're down at least that much before I start casting to keep them topped off. And basically keep going until I'm out of healing, and I would need to go back to refresh my magic to get more. But yeah, we start with you. Good job. Bad job. But now that is less than 16 for all of them, so they get to wait. Part of why the idea of an additional class in the middle for some or most of them doesn't bother me as much is because the grinding part isn't what bothers me so much as the leveling part, and since they're not going to be having to deal with the hit point part of that level, for most if not all of the levels in that in-between class, that's not so much of a problem. I just stand there and, did you get spells? Good enough. Which would be the case for all of them. So, yeah, less of a concern. It's the hit points part that's the pain in the ass. And since that wouldn't be a factor, less concerning. Additional bit of chronomancy that is also actual chronomancy that I intend to do when we eventually get there is having my backup save come back in before they change classes and seeing what range of numbers of years are added I can get. Because if they age less, there's also less of an issue. Or potential for there to be an issue. So, chronomancy for actual chronomancy, because they are actually potentially saving years worth of aging. So, you could get one. You're out, though, because that's a 4th level spell. So it's your turn. Yep. Good enough. Well, not, but you're down less than 16 again, so. I really like the idea of everyone being able to heal if necessary. Especially with status ailments and shit that, you have no idea how much of the party it might hit. Most of the party will have mage spells anyway. But having everyone being able to heal. Other than the investment of time, does not have a downside. Little squishy that will eventually be a thief. Cleric might be the class that gets the most hit points, so I'll actually have to keep an eye out for that one getting hit points further into it, but since all I've had clerics get up through the number of levels and see how many hit points they've got at the end of that, I'll have a good idea, or a better idea, of what to keep an eye out for with a little squishy. Because right now, they're about 20 hit points ahead, and that gap's gonna grow, so I can just kind of keep tabs on what that looks like. start going for iterations there, beyond just for did you learn more spells. Well, suboptimal there. Well, you got halfway there. Now, of course, the more and better healing magic we get, the longer and longer we can stay out, and also the longer and longer we need to make more levels. Then we get the healing spell that heals people completely. There is no rolling. That one, I wait until they're at 1 or 2, and then just, you're full. That adds a lot of time to things. Or, if we're ready to go back for whatever other reason, I just, yep, you're full. I don't have to deal with shitty rolls. You're just healthy again. But it'll take us a while to get to that. In the process of going through this, I might even learn the spell names, because most of them I don't fucking know. I know the effect I'm looking for. Do I know the name of the spell? Probably not. Not offhand. Like if I see it in a lineup, I might recognize it. Or you could roll the lowest possible amount of healing you could have provided. Sure. Sure. Thanks for that. better. Thank you. Good job. Now we're out of the big ones. And we get to go to the little ones. I am going to pause for a moment, though, because I want to at least get more beverage started and grab something to snack on. So I'll put that there. Actually, that's good enough. That is what I'm doing. All right. Coffee has started, and I have scones. So those can go. And we can resume recording. while I have been trying to keep people topped off, it's not strictly necessary, it's just easier for me mentally to see, oh, they're down enough that the maximum amount of that spell would be able to do the job without having lost overage, then waiting until they actually need it. But even once we're out of healing magic, we still will have more fighting we can do before we actually have to go back. Jesus fucking Christ. Sounds like my coffee's just about done. guess there is another upside to recording alongside streaming. Beyond the not having to edit out. The beginning while I was getting set up and making sure things were actually doing what they're fucking supposed to. You used up all of yours, yeah? Not yet. Is if YouTube does somehow fuck it up, I actually have it preserved in another way. Slow clap. Slow clap. But my coffee is ready. Warm beverage is had. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to turn that one off. Alright. Oh. Onward. Now, it wouldn't really be worth it, but I could hypothetically prolong how long I'm out a little by only healing the samurai, waiting until C3 is just down and needs to either be healed or moved to the back row, and then move a healthy cleric up front and cycle through that way. But one, it's a little late to make that decision. Two, I don't think it would prolong things enough to be worth it. But I could hypothetically extend how long we could grind for by doing it that way. Now that they've gotten to the point where they can do that 17, 19 in a hit, I do start to think about, okay, well, that's really just one good round against Murphy that rolled poorly. Will that happen? Almost certainly not. But when you're sitting here doing the same thing with very little interaction required, little bits of mental math, or, you know, let's be honest, watching something else while I'm doing this, except I'm recording this one, so. There's that. That's also the potential upside, besides just how long I'm going to be at for increasing amounts of time, is that if I'm streaming it, that gives the target demographic person the opportunity to show up, which is why I'm streaming it on YouTube. They're more likely to be able to do that, or more likely to notice it and do that with YouTube than if I were on Twitch. And it's not like my other friends who I do let know that I'm streaming can't show up, but they live in Europe, so most of them would be asleep right now. There's a time of day thing there. Time zones. They're at least 5 hours ahead. So. Some more so. But yeah, if I'm streaming, I have the potential for someone showing up and giving me someone to talk to. Besides the target demographic who will watch the recording of the stream later. If you want to be called out, let me know. I'm trying to be respectful of your privacy if you want it. You know who you are. Essentially, the reason I'm playing this at all, beyond the side-by-side comparisons, was my old game's enabler kind of did the equivalent of batting his eyelashes at me and asking nicely. Though I don't know that he'd put it that way, but, you know. He's the reason why I have a FAQ at all. You know. And he enables old games. Well, he was an old game enabler when we were young. Like, 20 years ago. Now, we're both in our 40s, and he's an old game enabler. Come on. Jesus fucking Christ, girl. I mean, I did also do the playthrough of Nobunaga's Ambition 2, which is the game I have done the FAQ and additional resource guides to. I still have maps to assemble from that. I have all the screenshots. I got them when I was doing that playthrough. And little tidbits for the text documents did get updated, but the assembling of the Pfeifen battle maps, they're sitting there in a folder and I haven't done it yet. I still intend to. We may be able to afford our first set of copper gauntlets when we get back. Gloves? They're, well, copper gloves. They're gauntlets. They fit in that slot, which most people can't wear. Or most classes can't wear. They cost 6 grand and we had 4,100 and change when I went out. So, should be able to get one of them a set when we get back. Should, probably. Because that number is each, so it's times 6. Per fight. Yours. Rude. Not unexpected, but still rude. Well, now we're out of those. When we get back to town, when we have to go back, gonna wanna get the gloves. Take a look at just how far over what we needed to level we ended up getting. but we've got time. Earlier today, I had, well, what I needed to do was take a break from the chronomancy. Because I'd gotten, I think Squishy was done, and Sam and C1 may have been done by that point. But it was dragging on and on and on, with all of them being increasingly difficult and uncooperative, and I needed a break. I also needed to go get milk and maybe some other things like simple food options. Things that could be a meal, or at least a snack, without a whole lot of work. And I wasn't going farther than the little town store, which is, they call themselves a supermarket. I don't dislike it there, and the employees are nice. One greets me by name, which I think is sweet of her. But they're not very big, which makes it easier for me to get around without exhausting myself, which is helpful. But they're kinda convenience store priced, so they are more expensive, even if I am paying for the convenience, so hence convenience store prices is actually accurate. But sometimes, well, they have various amounts of baked goods. Sometimes those are half off and up front, and sometimes that includes scones. So when I went, because I needed milk to be able to make coffee anyway, and some other foods, they happened to have scones. Some apple cinnamon ones, and some blueberry ones. So I have little containers of scones sitting in my fridge. Well, and one sitting by my desk. I have had 2 of those apple cinnamon scones. One when I got home because I needed to eat something and I definitely didn't want to put any effort into it. And another one now. It's a convenient little thing. They don't make too much of a mess. They crumble a little, but I break pieces off. These are different flavors than the ones they've had that I've gotten before. They've had raspberry white chocolate ones. I've gotten those a couple of times, I think. Really, I just get whatever they've got at half off, because even at half off they cost more than I really should be paying for something. But half off makes them a reasonable indulgence. I don't have mocha. I have just coffee because they don't have generic brand chocolate milk. They only have a name brand variety of chocolate milk, which costs a bunch more. So I do not buy chocolate milk there, just because it costs so much more. So I just have regular coffee instead of mocha. Which is fine. But I do prefer to make mocha. For the past few days I have been making do with tea because I ran out of milk. But I finally decided, well, I need a break and I need to go get stuff. So yeah, now's a good time. there was much rejoicing. If you keep picking on her, I may end up rotating one of the others to the front anyway. But I really don't want to have to heal a fourth person, because we're still stuck with the shitty dice rolls. Something else that stands out more the longer you do this is how much longer it takes to animate the misses than the hits. Because it takes the full for the misses, but if there were multiple hits in a row, you get swing, swing, swing. It's much more respectful of our time when we hit. Ladies, you could have demonstrated my point for me. But see, where it pauses for that miss, it would have just kept going with the hits. I wish they had condensed and stacked those the way they did the hitting. because Burfy doesn't stop and block individually for each hit. So, that's... We don't have to wait for the full animation for each hit. It just, he reacts once. If he could just stay in that blocked position, if he blocks multiples in a row, that would be similarly time efficient for us, rather than doing it individually each time. That. The flow of combat is jerk here when it pauses to deal with the misses. And again, it's something that stands out more the longer you're here doing this. So, how could I not notice? I don't know why they made that choice. I don't see a reason why it would be simpler. That's why she needed to move. That helps. Because we could encounter other things on the way back. And there isn't any casting for us to do, because we're out of magic. But, one. Oh, yeah, I can afford a pair for both of them. Copper gloves. Yes. You're welcome. Right. Hadn't done that for you. Might as well. Sell the shield you're not using. Better. There isn't any other buying I can do. Because that's the best they can wear. I can't look at this on you. There was a thought I'd had. +3, 1d6. +2, d4 +2. Same max damage, higher minimum damage. Smaller to hit bonus. Because short sword is what a thief can use. So, may or may not end up being much of a difference between the two. But higher minimum damage is always a nice thing. So, that is something I'm considering when they change class. But we're not there yet. But it was something that had occurred to me. But I want to look at... Yeah, we overshot by a bunch. The clerics are going to be able to make a second level, I think. So, I'm gonna back up the save, and then we get to take a look at the shit show. But that does mean I get to pause the recording while I exit the game, copy the save file, paste the save file into the backup folder. Reboot the game. Put the window back where it fucking belongs. Off to the side. Because I don't want it centered. That's not where I want that. Yep. You. We already know it's gonna be a shit show. Yeah, that's just insulting. Rude. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Out of curiosity. Just look now while I'm thinking about it. Okay, a few more and they would have gotten there, so everyone else definitely did. Alright. Feel free to continue to insult me. Eh. That's... Okay. Well. Of course you show up when I'm not keeping things. Thanks for that. Nice. That is the minimum you need. You've reached the minimum, but I don't know which one you're gonna be. Not that I'm keeping it anyway, but that is still... That does mean I'll get a level, be able to heal as much as I can with whatever I've got, and then be able to make another, have them restore their magic again, and then go from there. Okay. Yeah, okay. We'll... We're not keeping them, but we'll look anyway. If I'm gonna have you do the thing, you need to actually have the stats to do the thing. Technically sufficient. And that's 8 hit points on you. I won't forget that I saw that. I am not keeping these shitty, variably shitty levels, but it is still useful context to have. Now, looking at yours won't matter. We had gotten these, so these are the new ones we've gotten. Okay. That's it. That's another mental effect, so again. That's a bigger version of this. AC penalty to monster group. All monsters. Okay. That was the difference there. And then there's... You did the best, so we get to look at your spells. Oh, God damn it. Well, there's the 3d8, which is nice. May we never need that. Yeah. I never trust how effective death magics are when cast by party members. Like, a whole lot of RPGs have creatures and other NPC enemies that can cast it with great effect, but it's usually profoundly unreliable when cast by player characters, and most targets, it can't be affected by it at all. So I tend to be underwhelmed with the opportunity. And bosses are immune? Universally, so far as I know. So the time when, of course, you would most want to be able to use such a thing, it's guaranteed to fail. Not that I don't understand why that's the case, but if it can always work on us without protective items in games that even have those, but we'll be getting that, which will help more and prolong things more. So that's really the upside there. None of the other spells we're getting are going to be relevant yet. But that one is. So I get to do who knows how much more trying to fix those levels, well, to make levels that don't suck. But who knows how effective or efficient my chronomancy will be. I have to make 10 levels. Last time it was 7, because Squishy had 2 to make, but everyone else was at 1. Now I've got to do 10 of them, and there are spells to consider, but we'll see. Well, I'll see over some protracted amount of time, and then eventually after you will see. But since at 7th level we could grind for that long, the length of these excursions will just keep going up. But that's enough for now. And I am really, really hoping my chronomancy is less shitty than it was earlier today. I took breaks, but it stretched out for multiple hours. I took maybe an hour off total, so 3 hours, I think. Too long. It takes... Taking 3 hours for something that would take me minutes with the chronomancy I can do in NES emulation is really the key factor in why I'm considering doing that after. But also gaining familiarity with the later parts of the game. In the pretty one, with the quality of life improvements in other places that help me actually know what I'm doing in a way that's easier to see and learn will help me in going through the game in that version, because it won't have all those other things. I just have save states for that. So, yeah.